Translation Prabhupada by Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Maitreya said, "O warrior, the inquiry made by you is just befitting a devotee because it concerns the incarnation of the personality of Godhead. He is a source of all liberation from all change of birth and death for all those who are otherwise destined to die." Please repeat responsibly. The great sage Maitreya said, "O warrior, the inquiry by which the inquiry by you are just befitting a devotee because it concerns the incarnation of the personality of Godhead. He is a source of liberation from the chain of birth and death for all those who are otherwise destined to die." Srila Prabhupada's purport. The great sage Maitreya addressed Vidura as warrior, not only because Vidura belonged to a Kuru family, but because he was anxious to hear about the chivalrous activities of the Lord in his incarnations of Varaha and Nrsimha. Because the inquiries concerned the Lord, they were perfectly befitting a devotee. A devotee has no taste for hearing anything mundane. There are many topics of mundane warfare, but a devotee is not inclined to hear them. The topics of warfare in which the Lord engages do not concern the war of death, but the war against the chain of Maya, which obliges one to accept repeated birth and death. In other words, one who takes delight in hearing the war topics of the Lord is relieved from chains of birth and death. Foolish people are suspicious of Krishna's taking part in the battle of Kurukshetra, not knowing that he is taking part in assured liberation for all who were present on the battlefield. It is said by Bhishmadev that all who were present on the battle of Kurukshetra attained their original spiritual existence after death. Therefore, hearing the war topics of the Lord is as good as any other devotional service. So, in previous times, before the British changed things in India, where they manipulated the scriptures and guided people away from the spiritual goals of life, they made out that the scriptures are mythology, and they also got many of the masses to believe in the philosophy of Darwinism, and even in modern times, they make all these movies: Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. These are all fictions; they're not real stories. So, before all these times came in India, people used to relish Ramayana and Mahabharata, and Krishna's pastimes, used to do dramas. And this is what satisfies the emotions, because Krishna is not, he's a real person, he's a supreme person, and he reciprocates with those who surrender to him. So it says in the creation of the world, in the universe, all the masses of people in the universe, they all respect Krishna as the Supreme Lord. They all look up to Krishna's pastimes, activities. Because these pastimes and activities are eternal. They eternally. It's not like you read a mundane book and you get fed up. These pastimes you go deeper and deeper as you read them more and more. You get more meaning out of it. So only the demons go against these. They go against Krishna's teachings. They don't respect Krishna. Otherwise, the majority of in the higher planets, they're devotees of Krishna. It's just the demons don't respect Krishna's teachings. So so these holy places like Kurukshetra and all the Battle of Kurukshetra, the war happened. Still a holy place. It says the demigods respect that place. They say, and in many hidden treasures there also. When Madhvacharya came there, he's Bhima himself. So he dug up the place where Bhima used the mace, and he showed it to his followers. He pulled out the mace. He said, I was Bhima in my previous times. And so it's also mentioned how people who saw Krishna as a person, they went back to Godhead. But those who saw him, just his presence, they got purified. And whatever they were thinking of, they attained their destination. So those who were thinking of God as an energy, they would go to Brahman. Those who respected Krishna but they were attached to opulences of this world, they became demigods. Those who had full devotion towards Krishna, they went back to Godhead. So and Krishna's activities are quite unique. He does things in a way actually to uplift human society. For Krishna to come to the material world, he doesn't have to come. He can kill the demons just by creating a natural disaster. He's all powerful. Example can be given, just like we see in the universe, so many different planets are floating in the orbits. It says, but they're going very fast in the orbits, but they don't crash amongst each other. They're properly situated in the orbits. It's mentioned how the sun is going in its orbit at 16,000 miles a second. And the scientists say if the sun goes 1 meter away from the earth will freeze. It comes 1 meter towards the earth will burn up. So we can see everything is properly situated in the creation, perfectly done. And we can see the other side, how even the days and months, everything is perfectly organized. It automatically comes. So Prabhupada, he said, to paint a flower, it takes a long time for someone who's an artist. But through Krishna's energy, the flower is coming through nature. Even the person who paints a flower, he cannot equal the original flower which is growing by nature. So we can just see from this example how beautiful Krishna's creation is. And then for those who become devotees of Krishna, they take on all good qualities. He says, Srila Prabhupada's quotes, he mentions how everything according to Krishna's instruction is good. Anything which is not going to Krishna's instruction is bad. So we can see, for example, in modern times, things are difficult in the world outside. It's not easy times. Prices are going up, shops are closing, unemployment is going on the rise. People under the pressure cooker, you can see how they could be blowing the fuse, But for the devotees, no problem, because they have faith in Krishna that they're following the laws and they can see ultimately Krishna is providing. Otherwise, the material world is governed by three modes of nature: goodness, passion, ignorance. And in Bhagavad Gita, at the end, Krishna tells Arjuna that if you surrender to me, you become glorious. Otherwise, you get affected by the modes. So, from this example, we can see how the living entity is not fully independent. He has to be dependent on some authority. So Prabhupada gave the example, he said, when he went to Russia, he said, to Professor Kotovsky, he said, you support Lenin by his philosophy of communism, and we go by what Krishna is saying. So, so these pastimes of which Krishna displays in the material world are very special pastimes. He's doing this for our benefit, actually, to attract us back to Him. So, there's an interesting pastime with Muchukunda, how he was fighting with for the demigods. And then at some point Kartikeya came in. He was born from Lord Shiva and Parvati, and he took over. And the demigods told Muchukunda, what blessing would you like? Because he was the king of the earth planet. And he said, because he was fighting for a long time, he felt very tired. So he told the demigods, give me a blessing that no one should disturb me when I'm sleeping. And anyone disturbs me, if I look at them, I'll burn them to ashes. So there was a demon called Kalyavana, and he was gotten by Garga Muni because the Yadus, they were mocking Garga Muni, they were making fun of him. And he cursed them that I'll create someone who will disturb you. So Kalyavana, he had 30 million soldiers behind him. And this is just after when Krishna kidnapped Rukmini. Just after that, Jarasandha was going to attack Mathura with his 18 Okshihinis. Auction is a big amount of many soldiers, millions of soldiers. So he had 18 Okshihinis. And Kalyavana is going to attack Mathura at the same time with his 30 million soldiers. So Krishna and Balram, Krishna reigned with Balram, they defeated Jarasandha. They sent him back. They killed all his soldiers, and But when Kalyavana came in, Krishna didn't fight with him. He just, without any weapons, he was running. And Gopal Chambra explains how Jiva Goswami says, Krishna told Kalyavana that if you touch me, you win. If I touch you, if you touch me, you win. If you can't touch me, I win. Like that. He told him like that. But how fast Kalyavana was running, he couldn't touch Krishna. So Krishna manifested his Vishnu form. And Kalyavana just couldn't touch Krishna. So Krishna guided Kalyavana to this cave where Muchukunda was sleeping. And Krishna went inside and he was hiding. And Kalyavana thought Muchukunda was sleeping. He thought, because he was very proud, and he thought, who is this person sleeping? He must be Krishna tricking me. So he started kicking Muchukunda. So Muchukunda woke up and he saw Kalyavana, and when he looked at him, he got burnt to ashes. So, with that same vision, when Krishna manifested in Palokanya, he gave the same vision to Krishna. But Krishna wasn't affected. So, Muchukunda realized who Krishna was, and so the point is given how no matter what contamination we have in our progress towards spiritual perfection, if we just turn towards Krishna, we'll get purified. Because Krishna just sees our devotion. He doesn't see anything else. And there are other examples, like the other example is Putna. When Krishna was 3 months old, Kamsa's son Putna to kill all the babies in Vrindavan. And Jiva Goswami explains, interesting point, he says that the children Putna was killing was the demon children. She didn't have the devotee children. So it shows how Krishna protects devotees. So when Putna came to the house, she was a Rakshasi, so they can take on different forms. And Prabhupada comments, in northern India, these witches live on trees. They are mystic powers and they can fly from tree to tree. And Prabhupada comments in the Krishna book how ghosts and these kind of witches can affect people's mentality and disturb them. So Putna took on a beautiful form of a nice woman, and she came to see Krishna, baby Krishna. And Mother Yasoda was thinking, this is goddess of fortune. Rohini was thinking same. So she took Krishna, but she could understand by holding Krishna that this person can destroy the whole universe with the blink of his eyes. She couldn't understand who Krishna was. She had some insight, some kind of feeling was there. And so she put some heavy poison on her breast to kill Krishna, thinking that when Krishna sucks this, he's going to die. When Krishna sucked the breast, Putna died. And the other thing is, she was 12 miles, she was quite big, 12 miles big. But she came in a human form. So Krishna did not allow her to expand that big form in the house which she came in. As she went running, she said, "Child, leave me." And then sometime as she was running further away, then she expanded her real form. And many trees broke down and her real form was exhibited, where she had breasts were like mountains, her teeth were like big, like huge teeth, face was quite big, like touching this. Quite, you can see the picture in the Krishna book. It's quite gruesome. So, but it's interesting how Putna in her previous life, she was the daughter of Bali Maharaj. This in Gaga Samhita is mentioned that she was daughter of, and when Krishna came as Vamanadev to cheat Bali Maharaj, because Bali Maharaj, he honestly got the kingdom. He was a demon, king of demons, but he honestly fought the demigods. He got the kingdom of heaven. But then Aditi was sad that the demigods were taken out of the heavenly planets, and she started doing austerities. So Lord Vishnu appeared and said, "What blessing do you want?" And she said, "I want the demigods to have the kingdom back." So Lord Vishnu said, "Well, the thing is, how Bali Maharaj got his kingdom was an honest way, but because he got Brahmanas supporting him, I cannot go against the Brahmanas. But because you're desiring this, I'll fulfill your desire." Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai. So from this pastime we can also see how you can't outsmart Krishna, because he took the form of Vamanadev, a dwarf. And he went to the assembly of Bali Maharaj, and just by his presence of Vamanadev, all the impulses of Brahmana became very less compared to Vamanadev. And even Sukracharya, who was the guru of Bali Maharaj, he understood who Vamanadev was. And he told Bali Maharaj, "Don't give him anything. Because he's Vishnu, he'll take everything from you." So Bali Maharaj, being a devotee, he said, "Why not?" Then initially he told Vamanadev, "Whatever you want, I'll give you. I own everything." But Vamanadev said, being a dwarf, he said, "I just want 3 steps of land." So, anyway, the pastime goes on, how Vamanadev expanded his form, he took over the whole universe with his 2 steps. So, the daughter of Bali Maharaj, when she saw that Bali Maharaj took everything away from, Vamanadev took everything from Bali Maharaj, although she had attraction to Vamanadev as her son, but because Vamanadev took everything away from Bali Maharaj, she also said, "I'll have you as my son, but I'll poison you." So then Krishna fulfilled that desire. So she became Putna in the next life. But Krishna is so merciful that even though her intention was to kill Krishna, but Krishna took her as his mother. And he gave her a position of a nurse in the spiritual world. So it doesn't matter what intentions we have. If we just turn to Krishna, we get purified. So the other example is Kamsa. How Kamsa's whole intention was to kill Krishna. But then one of Kamsa's associates advised Kamsa that you should kidnap Radharani because you should get her as your wife. And Kamsa went to the what's that famous, one of the lakes in 12 forests in Vrindavan. And he went to one of these lakes where whatever you desire comes true. And he touched the water and he's thinking of Radharani. And all his bodily features turned into a woman. He became like a gopi. Voice changed, the bodily features changed, everything changed. Kamsa was shocked. He said, "What's happening to me, And then Lalita, who's Radharani's associate, she's nearby and she's watching what's happening. So she tells Kamsa that everyone creates their own destiny, so you have to suffer now. So Kamsa is praying to Lalita, please save me, I'm in a predicament. I can't go back as a king, as a woman, can I? I have to have a male form. So then Radharani appears in Lalita's mind and tells her, bring Kamsa to me. So as Kamsa is going, following Lalita, he's watching the house of the gopis. And he's quite impressed. He thought, they live in so much opulence. Simple, but they live in opulence. So finally, they come to the house, and Lalita says to Radharani, there's an unknown gopi here. So then finally Radharani invites Kamsa in, and she chastises Kamsa, telling Kamsa, why you're sending all these demons to kill Krishna? Why you're harassing Krishna? And Kamsa is begging Radharani, please let me go. Allow me to become a king again. And so finally Radharani lets him go and tells Lalita, put him in this lake and he'll become the king again. So, but Radharani, she gives a curse to Kamsa, saying that if you harass Krishna anymore, I curse you to become a gopi. And anyway, these are intimate pastimes in the Puranas given like this, to show how just thinking of Krishna, you become purified. All your anathas get wiped out. And so anyone who's thinking of Krishna in this very life, in the human form of life, according to their surrender to Krishna, then Krishna reciprocates. So from Krishna's point of view, he wants our full attention on him. He don't want it's like a king's servant. A king's servant, if he's attached to his wife and children, he's not a king's servant. King's servant has to be attached to what the king wants. So Krishna wants that full attention from us on him. Because we have to understand that ultimately we are whatever you're doing in the material world is not permanent. Everything's temporary here. So Krishna wants us to become attached to a permanent situation in life. So permanent means Krishna's permanent, his devotees are permanent, everything related to him is permanent. So we have to become attached to Krishna like that. In the material world, everything is impermanent, nothing is permanent here. Everything changes so quickly. I'll read an interesting pastime to show, because it mentions something about the battlefield of Kurukshetra, so I'll give a little insight on one pastime to show how Krishna does everything for our welfare. Janmani then explained about Bileshwara, the famous Pandava brothers from Mahabharata. During their exile from Hastinapur, the 5 Pandavas traveled to Purushottam Kshetra, where Lord Krishna came to visit from Dwarka. At that time there was a tunnel leading through the earth planet and down into the lower Tala planetary system. Numerous demons used to come up through that passage to cause havoc on the earth. Lord Krishna and the Pandavas subdued these demoniac forces, then blocked their route. After the battle, Lord Krishna requested Lord Shiva to guard the blocked hole And since then, the Shiva has been famous as Bileshwara. Any questions or comments? Okay.
Thank you for the class. Yeah, you were talking about attachments to Krishna. I was just wondering why, or how do we increase our attachment for Krishna? You know, what the main things that we can do to increase our attachment?
Well, Prabhupada emphasized knowledge. You have to cultivate knowledge about who Krishna is. In one of the letters, Prabhupada said, if you read my books regularly, 1 or 2 hours, and renunciation will come into you. Through knowledge. And through knowledge, at some point you get a higher taste through chanting holy name. And then the other thing is association of devotees. So you have to have association of those who are advancing in spiritual life. Yeah. But the other thing is we have to be patient also in Krishna consciousness. Because Prabhupada said, I have my plan, you have your plan, and Krishna has his plan. So sometimes things may not go according to our plan. Krishna has a bigger plan. Yeah. So from that point of view, you have to have patience also. And if you're with devotees, then the plan gets revealed in time. Because whatever Krishna's plan is perfect. So Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, that's the way how you get a clear vision, how to go forward. Because in the present time in Kali Yuga, the way we are living, life is not very long. Like in Bilmango Thakur's time, he lived for 700 years. Our life is like 60, 80, 100, very short. So at this present time, Lord Chaitanya wants his mission to spread, right? So he's put devotees in different places for that purposes. So we just have to fulfill that prediction. And he says the demigods are queuing up to take birth in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. So we just have to fulfill our little part in mission of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And the spiritual master is guiding us. He's telling us where we should be, what service we should be doing, like that. Is that okay? Any other questions or comments? Okay.
Hi Krishna, thank you for sharing all your realizations with us. My question would be, how does one maintain the constant awareness that nothing matters except Krishna, that everything else will just fade?
Yeah, for that you have to have good sadhana.
Okay.
Everything comes from sadhana. According to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, according to how strong your bhajan is, according to that level, you see how everything is, you get the vision how to be part of Krishna's plan. So in one of his quotes he says how for the neophytes who are practicing spiritual, for those who are advanced in the line of Prahlad Maharaj, they see the deity in the temple, they see the deity open all the time by chanting the holy name. For those who are neophytes, they have to come to the temple to see the deity when the curtain opens. But this approach of following line of Prahlad Maharaj cannot be understood by neophytes. So, how to come to that platform? You have to increase your bhajan, increase taste for the holy name, see through the eyes of Shastra, and also associate with advanced devotees.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Sometimes, externally it seems like some people have very good sadhana, but still they don't seem to have that realization. So what is lacking in them?
Well, the thing is, if you're serious in your chanting, then Krishna will put you in touch with those who are advanced. We have to try and see the good in others, that's it. Because that's how Krishna sees. He only sees good in others, he doesn't see anything negative. So we have to learn to see good in others. Unless you can be constructive to help someone, don't get involved in another situation. Stick to your chanting, see to the eyes of Shastra, be with positive devotees, that's it.
How do you know who's advanced?
Who are here in the morning, who always chant the rounds, always to the service, who never offend anyone, who read a lot, who are clean.
Okay. Anything else?
They're saying excellent.
Jai. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Antaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram